It's time once again to go racing.
It does not get any better than this.
The pressure is really on now.
Yes, it's pole position. Lights out and we're racing in PSGL.
The first lap has been absolute chaos.
What an overtake! Oh no!
I've never seen anything like it.
Side by side again. This will be settled right at the end.
Hello everybody and welcome to PSGL for the PCF4 second round of the season, coming to you from Silverstone as well, the birthplace of Formula One, Bethlehem to many as well. Alongside me once again in the commentary box is Psycho. Good afternoon, good evening to you over here as well. How's your week been since that chaotic race in Portugal?
Well, we can hope for no more crashes this time. Very excited for Britain. It's definitely a good track to test the driver's limits, as well as see how pace is usually done here, because Britain is a track you need practice on. With strategies, rain might throw a rabbit in the hat, so can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, rain on the horizon as well as ever around Silverstone. Let's take a look at the calendar for season 30. A record-breaking calendar as well for us here on PSGL. We've already had Portugal a week ago. We're now into round 2. The British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. Next week, Monaco, the jewel in the crown as well. A very exciting race for us all. Looking forward to being commentating on that one. Following on as well, I've lost the track map as well on my screen. We'll go over to France. Then we go to Hungary as well. Austria, Saudi Arabia, the 7th round as well. Belgium on the same weekend that Formula One gets going for the 2022 season. Followed then by the Netherlands. Brazil as well, usually the season finale, now moved 5 races before. Mexico and Singapore, a very challenging double-header for us all, before going over to America. And then Italy, but not at Monza. We're going to be racing at the fantastic Autodromo Imola as well. And then the Shakir International Circuit in Bahrain finishes it off in round 15. After the first race of the season, though, the drivers' standings look like this. It's Bogdan Moldovan, who took victory for Alfa Romeo last time out. He holds a 4-point advantage over the reserve driver of AVT Yar. And Yar is now racing here tonight as well in the field, replacing Red Tox once again at the Alpha Tauris. Further on as well, Mateus Canali has the honour of being third in the championship on 10 points as well. Jane Chipkov has 8 points. Peso has 6 points. Zelenkiewicz as well is on 6. Napodavinsky, not racing tonight, has 4 points on the board. Moonfall 3. KTF Kevin on 2, and it's VTRL Simax, who's back in the field again tonight on a reserve folder, but is back in as well. He's on 1 point after that race. Who's going to be champion, though, of round 2 at Silverstone? We're about to find out as we're going to kick into qualifying ever so shortly. But first of all, we're going to take a look at the track map for Silverstone. It's a fantastic circuit, this one as well. 3.659 miles as well. That's 5.9 kilometers. Copse, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel as well. Some fantastic legendary corners in motorsports. A total of 18 corners. Top speed at 8th gear, 325 kilometers an hour. As we are getting ready to go into the qualifying session as well, as it's just loading in. So I'll ask you too, Psycho, as well. Who do you think is going to be quick in this qualifying session? Are we going to see the championship leader up there at the top with Bogdan Moldovan? Or is Jar going to say, I was leading much of the race in Portugal. I fancy my shots here tonight for a second go at my reserved role?
Well, we do have Yara Santiago back again in that reserve seat, and he showed off that pace for sure in that reserve seat. So we can definitely see some interesting pace coming out of these drivers. I can't wait to see what happens as we go into the qualifying right now. if the rain does show up into the race, that will definitely throw it will definitely show the resilience of these drivers if they can keep it under control. As we're loading in now, and everyone, welcome to the sunny, beautiful of Silverstone. Doesn't look like there's any rain. There's no clouds on that racetrack right now. Everyone's chilling in their pits, putting their setups on, getting everything ready. So, as we're loading in, what are you looking for times here? Who do you think you're gonna predict for these drivers? Who do you think is gonna come out on top?
Ideally, I think about a 1:29 is usually the times we usually get to see. It's a dry track, so it looks like everyone out there setting up for the soft tyre run, which is fantastic. No one going to choose the medium tyres to start on like we saw a week ago, very much divided on strategy calls. I'm very interested to see how the reserves do as well, especially AVT Yari as well, Simax, who's back in the reserve role. They've got championship points, but they aren't permanent members. For a second week in a row, Red Tox isn't racing here this weekend as well. VTR Dan isn't racing this weekend. Neither is Zoltan Zaneda back out there as well. So Napa Davinsky, the fourth and final one, so that's promoted Simax to get another role. It's going to be very chaotic. For those who've been given a lifeline, they can prove so much to get into the title hunt. Qualifying is underway though. Green lights are on. Will Gibson, who is one of the admins as well for PCF4, going out there in the medium compound tyres. ETA Danny looks to be doing the same. We'll just update you quick on the Portuguese penalties that we had as well. We had last time out. Lap 27 is with Napa Davinsky. It was a 5-second time penalty removed, so it was unfairly awarded after the safety car we had in that late restart. And the only things we had was warnings to several of the drivers as well about track limits and forcing other drivers off the track. So they've got very much lucky in not having any of the penalties from last time out as well. And the final one, it's 2 penalty points for Donovan as well, and Napa Davinsky, because he was causing a collision and sent him into a spin. So Will Gibson, however, no investigation necessary from his instance a week ago as they round the Stowe corner as well, coming up for their first lap times. Psycho, you do some racing as well out there. So what's it going to be like? We know the race is predicted rain. So what's it like for the drivers in a dry qualifying position? Are they thinking it's all about the race, or is some of them thinking if I have a good qualifying, it could better me in the race when it starts to rain?
Qualifying is definitely important coming up to a race full of rain. Having that qualifying position can really set you on, as it's really hard to overtake. Once you go for the overtake, it's quite risky because there are tricky conditions. You can easy slides or over brake yourself. So I feel like using all your softs, using all your dry tires in this qualifying position to get a better head start into the race is it's key here in this race.
Looks to be going okay so far, which is fantastic news as well. We've just been pinged in as well on the F4 general chat, trying to see why. Yeah, watching off of, that's Will Gibson just trying to send me a message saying, are you racing as well? Dazed Rhombus as well, not having a great time out there. He's not happy. He's running 7th at the moment. He said it's a very, very bad game, but I can't say that word because it's not family friendly. So already there's some dramas out there. We're watching Bagger Off though, who is a name that I'm surprised been allowed in, but running P5 overall. He finished 22nd last time out, which isn't possible as we know. But he had there was a few drivers with DNSs and DNFs, so he actually finished about 19th last weekend in the racing after all the penalties were designed, and he does the first time of the session, a 1:27.041. Only 13 minutes to go. Then we see Duzan as well up into P1 in the Williams squad as well. That used to be, I think, Moonfall. I think they've changed the names, unless we've got a reserve driver in that I haven't been told about. As KTF FaZe comes out the last corner, across the line, does a 1:26.903. So already, Psycho, my predictions of a 1:28 have been blown out the water. These guys much faster than any esport drivers I've seen before, and the times are getting lower and lower.
They are getting lower and lower. I predict they're gonna hit the 25 range, probably a mid 25 if they get it in there. Let's see what these drivers are finishing their lap. We have Will Gibson and Danny Coe, those Alpine drivers, on the medium tires. So that's quite interesting. Maybe they're risking for the rain to be let up at the end of the race, so we will have to see. We have these drivers finishing up their lap. We can see how from P2 to P4 is quite close as well.
Less than a tenth between them as well. Look at that. That is very, very close. 446, 471, 535. That's with Mateus Canali as well. Bondrax, X, and Peso, who's into P4. Several cars diving into the pit lane after their opening laps as well. And Days Rombus is doing a lap, but we're watching with Bushy Ants as well. And already some love from Daniel W in the YouTube chat as well here about Bushy as well. So he's got some fans out there watching on with us.
Yeah, fellow content creator joining into the racing leagues. Always love to see that. He is a fast driver in this league, going back into the pits as he has finished his laps. As everyone's running up their final lap right now, we have 4 drivers that have not completed their lap, which is both of the Alpine drivers, Days Rumbus, and Spies in the Mercedes.
I think as well, Will Gibson's coming to the pit lane, changed off from medium compound tyres, has put back on soft compounds. His teammate Danny is in the pit lane as well. He's done in 19th place, so we'll wait to see what's going to happen there on the change as well. Godzilla saying go Ants as well. Moon saying go Raven as well. So they're all going there. There's an ole in there as well. Let's go Bondrax from Prince Sergey as well. So it's all looking quite quick. Get the support in for you drivers as well. Long time to go in this qualifying session yet. Top 3 in the pit lane. That's Yar Santiago as well. Mateus Kunis and Bondrax X jumped up the order as Bondrax as well. He was down in the midfield towards the back half back in Portugal. Nice to see inside the top 3 at the moment and getting closer. 2 tenths the gap at the front of the field though. That's still an advantage if it's going to remain a dry race at the start. And as you said, maybe the Alpines were predicting rain at the end, but both of them I think now have gone on to softs, if I'm correct there. Psycho, yeah. Looks like they've gone on to softs. Yeah,
looks like they're going back to softs. It's always good to have a soft tire just in case, but with the rain, we'll have to see with the strategy. We'll see if the rain will be let off during the ends. But
that
was
a massive corner cut from Peso. Did you see that? Right through Maggots and Beckett.
That sure was. He was looking a bit shaky going to Cops. But yeah, this track is definitely hard with track limits. It's definitely going to Cops or Maggots and Beckett. So you can easily just lose your car there, or even invalidate. I would say there will be a lot of penalties being pushed out here. But I feel like these drivers are well composed. These drivers have definitely practiced. I know at least Yara Santiago and Bushy Ants, I know they do practice for these races, as well as Will Gibson. So I probably won't be a lot of casualties today, but we do love to see the action coming off these drivers, as we saw from the last race in Portugal.
Interesting to note the briefing that was given out to all the eSport drivers, both on PC and PlayStation as well. All refers to Segment 3 track limits. Exceeding track limits at the following corners is prohibited. That is turn 9 at Cops, like we've just seen from Will Gibson. And he's now going to be expected to back off of this lap time. Not doing so may result in a penalty, and repeatedly abusing the track limits during the race might also be penalised.
And there he goes! Yeah, I mean, that's one way to back off a lap, you could say, but not quite the way we intended. Will Gibson, the first car to be out of qualifying.
Well, that is disappointing, to say the least, as well. He tried the medium tyre run, didn't work, went onto the softs, went wide at Cops Corner, 7th gear at over 300 kilometres an hour. I don't know why I'm saying 800 on my track map. That's rocket speed. But still, that is such a disappointment for Will Gibson as well. So he's going to start this race 20th on the grid. His teammate Danny's already on a lap time. He will automatically set faster laps. We're watching Bogolov as he comes through. Now we switch over to Bogolov coming through Cops Corner. Flat out, didn't lift, over 290 kilometres an hour. It's a 300 kilometre hour corner through Maggots and Beckett's now. Jenson Button once said as well, you can only get this segment of corners right once per weekend, and when you do, you know you're on a hot lap. because it hurtles her down the hanger straight towards Stowe Corner as well. 8th gear, maximum 325 kilometres, back off 7th gear, 240. Not exactly carrying the speed there is Bugger Off as what is to be expected, but this looks like a good lap time to at least jump him inside the top 10.
Yeah, especially going through those corners. If you hit cups so well, you can gain so much time. I feel like Maggots and Beckett's is just a corner that you can lose so much time on. If you hit it nice, it just feels really good. It's just satisfying to hit those corners nicely. As we have these drivers starting their laps now. I believe Yar Santiago is also on the lap. The pole sitter, the provisional pole sitter, as well as P2 finisher in Portugal. Will he take the podium position again, or will he go even further to take the win? We'll have to see. Oh, he looked a bit shaky coming off of Beckett's. He does a Red Bull, gonna get a cheeky little slipstream right there. And see if he can transfer the speed. Yeah, you can see that. See, he transfers the speed very nicely, going to his heavy braking zone, down to gear 3 or even 2 for that extra rotation. 6 to gear 3, up to gear 4, gear 5. Oh! He was on the throttle a bit too early, and that's gonna cost him the lap. Or is he gonna improve? No, he will not improve by so little.
He was down. Yeah. That is such a small margin as well. 50 thousandths of a second separating. That is barely anything as well. And of course, remember with Yare as well, he led quite a lot of the race in Portugal as well. He had such a hold on it. And then, late on that safety car, he didn't pit for tyres. And suddenly we saw everybody jumping up towards the front. The Alfa Romeos were playing such a game with the rest of the field 7 days ago that they are in a very strong position to do that again. But of course, Santiago, he is a reserve driver, which means if any of the team's regular drivers can't race, we put the reserve in. So a week ago, he was in an Alfa Romeo. This week, he's in an Alfa Tauri. So it's confusing for us in the comms box because on our sheet it says Alpha 1 week and Alpha the next, but it's spelt very differently. As Matheus Canali comes out of Club Corner now, coming out 6th gear, 240 kilometers an hour to the line, stays P3. He was 8 seconds off the pace. That suggests to me it was a run-up lap as well. And I think Bondrax is way down as well in the first sector. As Tripkov goes into P4, 1:26.452 as well. So the time's beginning to get quicker, but only in the midfield, it seems, Psycho.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, these top 5 drivers, they were going for a good lap, but as you saw in the Yara Santiago, he was messing up as Peso goes at 26.1, slowly creeping into the 25 area. And I can expect that these drivers will put those cars into those time range. But yeah, as we saw with Yara Santiago, these drivers, it's so easy just to do one simple mistake and lose so much time.
There's some ETA. The AM is saying to Danny, "I'm so sorry, mate," as well. So presumably there was some blocking during the session that we're not seeing. We're seeing that on the Discord in the general chat, the F4. But Peso on top, as you say, Psycho, 1:26.189. That's a great time, slowly getting towards the high 125s. Here is with Duzan as well. See that, so sideways coming out of Chapel as well. He's put the car so straight down the hangers, straight as well as he comes into Stowe. And he's got Matheus Canali just in the way there. He's been dropped down to 4th place. Bondrax has jumped to 3rd as well. So the order beginning to be shuffled around. Is this a good time from Dovzan? Don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. No, he only jumps up to 8th place, so moves up a position to where he was.
He does get into the top 10 position though. But as this is rain, there will be no medium strategy or soft strategy. Everyone will be in the intermediates. So strategy, likewise, will be on the intermediates. Maybe we'll see in the rain letting off. But everyone's coming into the pits now, finishing their laps. I don't think anyone is on a lap right now. Maybe Kevin is. Nope, he's going into the pits.
Santiago's just left the pit lane as well. Bibix, however, it does look like he's on a time as he comes down towards Stowe Corner, flicks that Haas car in, dropped down to 5th gear. I think that was a mistake because he immediately went back up to 6th as well as he comes through into the Vale chicane now. Not what it once was, neither's Club Corner, but it's a new modern age as he comes across the line. Goes P12 from P18, so that's a good jump. 1:26.749. There's 8,000 separating him and FaZe as well is P11. Bondrax put on a new set of tyres as well. The Ferrari of Zelenkiewicz as well on an out lap. Very much though, I think Psycho there, you could hear that better than I could. He was revving the life out of that Ferrari engine.
Yeah, these drivers need to warm up their engine sometimes to so they don't get to how to say, if they heat up the engines, they won't be understeer going through those corners. So that's one cheeky strat that only experienced drivers know. As we have, I believe Simax just started his lap right now, the Ferrari driver of Zelenkiewicz.
So Simax as well, as I said, he's 10th in the standings on 1 point after the race in Portimao. This weekend he's driving a Ferrari as well, so he should have the grunt as well and the determination to get up high in the order. The number 57 through Brooklands we go, throwing the car in. Better acceleration, control the oversteer as they come round Luffield. Woodcut's now easy flat to what it was some 15 years ago. Hug the inside line. Cops Corner though, still a big challenge. We proved it last year with Verstappen, and Hamilton throws the car in. Didn't lift once. Maximum on the accelerations through to Maggett and Beckett now as well. Hug the inside lines as well. Lead the car as wide as possible as you come into Beckett. Now through Chapel. Don't go too wide. Collect the DRS activation zone as you hurtle down the hangar straight. Danny's gone top. So from 20th to top, that's a great time. 1:26.130 into Stowe Corner. 240 kilometers an hour in 7th gear. Hurtle down towards the Vale chicane. 4th gear, 125 kilometers an hour. He's a little bit off that as well. Controlling now through the last corner at turn 18 at Club. The line straight after it, and it's only good enough for P12. He's lost time there.
Oh, and Yari Santiago has invalidated his lap time. Yeah, he was. Maybe you might go for this lap. As I said, these drivers, there's going to be rain, so they can absolutely abuse these softs since they're not going to use them. So let's see, can Yari Santiago? No, he's actually backing off that lap.
Backed off. Now, what's the time? 1:08. That's it. He's done. If he didn't go for this lap, he wouldn't get it again. So that is Santiago starting 3rd at best. Peso is on an out lap. We're watching Zelenkiewicz. He jumps to 2nd for the ETA guys. They're on 1-2. 1:26.139. A brilliant time there. 9,000ths of a second separate the top two. And this is definitely a turnaround from the qualifying we saw in Portimao, where everyone retired with 5 minutes to go. We've got a full session of 18 minutes here in Silverstone, and it's proving to be an absolute classic as we watch Mateus Canali now.
Look at that gap getting closer and closer, especially P5 to P8. They're all together. But what a lap from Danico, here to redeem his teammates' honor by setting that Alpine into the pole position. Provisional pole position, and we have some drivers going out for the lap right now, I believe. Yar Santiago is not going to do another lap. The driver that showed a brilliant pace. But these drivers now, since it's a full qualifying session, they get to show off their pace a little bit. They have more time to put in their laps, as we have some cars retiring off right now. Yeah, checkered flag is waved, so all the cars are crossing the checkered flag right now, and it will be over for this qualifying session soon. Who will put the car on top? Will Danny Coe or any of these drivers will put their car on top? Let's see. Matthias rounding up the final corner, transferring that speed nicely, goes into grid 5. He's going throttle. What time does he set? Will he improve? And he does not improve. He only improves by 9 milliseconds.
Unbelievable, the amount of short times we've got. Peso dives up the inside of Rhombus there. Santiago's out of it, and Peso's gone too wide at the exit coming into Chapel as well. He was off put, I think, by the Santiago car on the outside there as well. Now we take a look at Tripkov as well, coming into the Vale chicane. Is he going to find any sort of time on the accelerator into Club Corner? 1:26 across the line. Stays P8, down by 29,000. I think that's it, because Zelenkiewicz now has dropped out. Peso's crossed the line. I think I'm willing to call it.
I
It's
think
ETA
that's it.
Danny Coe starts on pole. Brilliant time.
There you go, Danny Coe to redeem his teammate's legacy, to set his car on pole. And there you go, top 5. We have Zelenkiewicz, Ferrari, and Peso of Red Bull. Yar Santiago starting P4, and the Alfa Romeo of Bondrax. What a lineup! And look at the times are so close as well.
Times meaning close in qualifying means we're going to have a very, very close race. It's going to be a race of two halves as well. If that rain comes, if it's a dry start, we're racing to the rain. If it's a wet start, we're racing to the changeover time to the dry tyres. It's going to be very exciting across 26 laps coming up here at Silverstone. It does fly by incredibly quickly, so stand by for all action to unfold as well. I think yesterday's race in the Formula One with Andy as well and Dan kicked us off to one of the classics we've ever seen here on PSGL. I was certainly enjoying it. In fact, I was enjoying it so much, I felt like commentating on it as well. I was pointing things out the screen, and I was even on the verge of texting the commentators saying, look at Jarno Opmeer. He's in within 2/10 of the guy in front. And I was like, so close as well. Do you want to take us through the grid?
Yeah, no worries. So, starting on pole, we have Danny Coe driving for the Alpine. P2 we have Zelenkovic. P3 we have Pesso driving for the Red Bull, as well as Bondrex in the P5. That's your top 5 right there. We have Matthias driving for Mercedes. P7 we have Days Rumbus for Aston Martin. P8 Jan Topkov. P9 Bushy and P10 Spiz driving for the Mercedes. These are your top 10 finishers. Going down the grid, we have P11. I'm not going to butcher that name, I'm sorry. P12 we have Booger Off, Simax, AM, Kevin, and that's how many drivers I can handle as fast as I can.
Do you want to pop up to the comms box then?
Sure
will.
It
does look a bit damp, doesn't it, out there?
Does look a
which
bit
is
damp.
very interesting.
So
this is going to be interesting as well as they come up here to the box. Hello.
Hello.
So the session's nearly underway as well. Hopefully I'm not too dissimilar there. But my question to you here, Psycho, is what on earth are we going to see when these lights go out? Are they going to be racing onto straight away for wet tyres, or are they going to take the time and start on the dries that they just qualified on?
Well, I'm going to give you some news right here. If you can see it on my screen, it doesn't look like there's any rain right now. So it doesn't look like there's any rain, and it looks like they are going to start on the soft tires or in the dry tires. So the Alpine driver, for example, those drivers that started on the mediums, they have an extra softs to play with. And we're wondering if maybe will the rain come later on? Is that how the case will work? We'll have to see coming later on. But I feel like it's going to be a bit shaky going through turn 1. Everyone's going to have to play it safe. Safety cars will come around. It is a hard chance to get a safety car around here, as the barriers are pretty far away. But you never know with these races.
9 seconds to go then until the formation lap begins. So we'll gear up to get going as well, as you can see. And the formation lap will get underway. Keep your fingers crossed. It looks okay to me. Yeah, dry tyres are going to be the call as ETA Danny leads us away on the parade lap. 26 laps ahead of us as well. And BMX, the only one starting on the medium compound tyre. Everyone else is on the soft, so by that, we assume the rain is going to come later on in this race. We are going to have another classic like we did yesterday in the PCF1 race.
That is true, yeah. Looks like everyone's going for the softs, predicting that the rain will come close. But we have Vivix and P17 gambling. He thinks maybe the rain will come later on and the softs will be imminent. If that gamble works, he could see some position changes as everyone has to pit. You never know. As Jarno Opmeer from Tier 1, he's the king of gambles. He knows his strategy, so you never know. We'll see with these drivers here as we're running up the formation lap.
Tensions beginning to rise as well. We remember what we saw in Portugal. Very exciting start. A little bit of a lull in the middle of the race. And then it was like we just switched up to 11 on the last lap as well. The game crashed. We just got back in across the line. The cars went 3 abreast across the line as well. All to being Moldovan on top as well. But that just proves how close AVT Yar was to getting on the victory. He starts 4th on the grid here today. Pesso 5th in the championship, starts 3rd as well. But Danny hasn't even got any points. He finished 15th last time out in Portugal. He starts this race on pole position with a brilliant switch over from the medium compounds to the soft compound. We just saw the predicted pit stops round about lap 10 to 13. if you want to switch over from both the softs or the mediums to the hard compound tire to take to the end of the race. It's a very abrasive track, of course. What would you do then, Psycho? You know the rain's coming. Would you go all out, or would you save your tyres until the rain comes? What would you do?
I will definitely, depending on when the rain is going to come. If the rain says it's imminent in about 10 to 15 minutes, I will definitely abuse all my tires as I can, as they will be useless later on. But we'll see how these drivers, see how they manage it. We know that some of these drivers have a tire saving strategy in their mind, but some of them, of course, they want to score the points. So if you want to take us away.
3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Long hold. Action at Silverstone. Great start from Danny as well. Look at Zeller. He's moved right across and now right round the outside into turn 1 in Abbey. The Ferrari just about holds off. Pesso stays third. Santiago down to 4th as well. Danny holds the lead into Village and far we go as well. Round the loop at turn 4. And now look at this. We've got cars dropping.
Oh!
That's Pesso.
There's
Pesso's
4 cars
been
out of there.
back.
What just happened? These cars just collected themselves and they're all off. There was 4 cars at least.
Gibson's jumped up to P14 as well. It's FedEx as well. Raven, the AM, Pesso, Santiago is down to 19th place. He was caught up in that. Simax as well down to 20th. Dramatic start once again. Kunal is right up alongside Spies as well. They're playing for P7. He's looking to the inside, coming into the first over Cops Corner as well, what used to be turn 1. And Spies going a bit wide. That's one of his lives gone in terms of track limits. No overtaking through Maggott and Beckett. I've only seen one driver do that. That was Lando Norris a couple of years ago. It's pretty much single file until you hit the hangar straight. So maximum disruption in terms of the championship positions as well. But it's a great start for Danny, who holds off Zelen. And it's 1, 2, 3 for the ETA squads. They are in different teams as well. But for that username as well, and those friends as well, absolutely fantastic. The 1, 2, 3.
What a lap one. It's unfortunate for those drivers that were in the front. They were looking really good, but they were just collected in the little ambush that was going on over there. But we still have a lot of laps left. These drivers can't recover, and with the rain that's going to come very soon, we'll see what happens to these drivers. But everyone's still keeping close. We can see the gaps are starting to form a little bit now. They're starting to expand a little bit. We have some overtakes going on over here. We have Buggeroff and Bondrax going side by side, going to the main DRS straight. Bondrax looks like he set himself up in front of Buggeroff. Good moves from him, but Bivix started from P17 to P11 with those medium tires.
That is a great call as well, and I think he got helped out by the 4 cars that spun round down at Aintree as well. Look, there's the confirmation of the pit stop strategy I was talking to you about before the lights went out as well. Look at Raven though, he's right behind Will Gibson, looking to get close as well, further back as they come through Cops Corner once again. Gibson right in the back of Buggeroff. Gibson goes a little bit too deep though. Raven's trying to have the acceleration through Maggott and Beckett. Who's going to lift though? Of course, one driver can be fully committed. The driver in front could lift, and suddenly there's a massive accident. Remember the 2 Toro Rossos, Hartley and Kvyat, back in 2017. He's got the inside line though, has Raven as well, and Gibson has to defend. Kunal has passed Spy, so the 2 Mercedes swapping positions at the front, down in P7 and 8.
And I don't know if you see it, but I do see rain dribbles starting to come onto the track right now. It's quite hard to see, but there is light rain starting to form onto the track right now. We'll see how fast these rains start to develop. Oh, that was really tight from these 2 drivers. What a race we start so far.
Raven diving up the inside of Gibson. Buggeroff is now catching in. Bondrax to the inside of Bibix as well. Down at Village, gets through, and the move done by the time they hit the loop as well. The 2 McLaren side getting close side by side. FedEx has moved up ahead of the AM. We'll stick with the battle we're at now as they are still moving over. That's a benefit. And there's the rain. There's the rain that you were talking about, Psycho. That rain is starting to come down heavier now as well. How long until they need to switch over to the intermediates? Bibix might be ruining his decision to start on those mediums. Everyone on the softs made the correct call, but now who's going to hit the pit lane first? Who's going to be brave enough to risk the intermediates burning out as we head through? Sooner or later, Cops Corner is going to become an ice rink.
It really is. It depends on how fast this rain is going to go through. The rain came on pretty quick, pretty early. I wonder why Bibix didn't see that coming on his strategy, but you never know. Would this rain be light, or would this rain start coming like a waterfall? We'll have to see going on to his layers of reps. We have an overtake right now coming on from Jan Topkov and Janov Dozvan. It's still going side by side.
Topkov's lost 2 positions there. Rhombus went through and Dozvan went through as well. So this is not good for Tripkov, who's dropped down from was 3rd now to P5. No one's diving into the pit lane yet. You can see the raindrops getting bigger and bigger as well down the Hamilton straight. Cars going off left, right and back. That was B-Bix on those medium compounds as Spies gets a little bit of a moment through Abbey into farm now. This is Village, turn 3 before the loop, the slowest part of the track as well. 3rd gear, 95 kilometers an hour. Get back on the acceleration quick, and those raindrops are getting heavier as FedEx moves up to 15th ahead of Raven as well. But they're swapping backwards and forwards as the McLaren with the DRS trying to have the advantage as FedEx on the outside and Raven dives back through on the inside. So it's all go, and of course, we've got to remember, this DRS is going to get deactivated soon if they switch over to intermediate tyres.
Yeah, the rain is coming in pretty quick right now. It's actually getting too slidey. We saw some drivers, they're struggling just to be on the track. Will Gibson, Raven, both goes off right there on Cop's corner. We can see the rain is coming on quick, but who's gonna take the risk and fall into the? Oh, we have Will Gibson already with a 3-second time penalty.
So he's gone too wide down at Cop's corner, so that's his done. And for Will Gibson, that part of the track, sector 2, not a friend of him.
Oh, we
so
have one of the drivers going in right now. Is that is Danny going to the pits?
Yeah.
Danny up there.
Is anyone else going to follow him? Is that a brave call? Yes, Bonjack's pits as well, as does Gibson. In fact, from 13 down, they're coming in as well. Raven pits, FedEx pits, the AM all comes in as well. So these guys are going to have hotter intermediate tyres in the next lap or so. We've got, 14 cars have stayed out there on the track as Dozvan closing up now on Days Rhombus, who said earlier on he didn't like the F1 2021 game. I think he's going to like it now if it gives him a podium. But look at the speed that the Dozvan has on the run into Brooklands as well. Dives to the inside, and that is a beautiful manoeuvre on the inside. The Williams really making moves there as well. Rhombus going to try and fight back. I don't think it's going to pay off.
Yeah, it looks like these drivers are only going to the pits right now. We have 5 drivers in the intermediate compound. We have Will Gibson as well with a 3-second penalty. But is it dry stage right now? I see puddles starting to form. DRS is not yet disabled. And we can see these drivers, they still have traction on right now. But the most important...
it's dry, and look at Danny.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Danny's losing time. Look, he's now 10... Danny's losing time in some parts of the track and gaining it back in others, but he's still 10 seconds back from Simax as Kevin and Spies fight together. Question is that who's going to dive in? Is it intermediates yet? What are the drivers feeling on those cars? Here we go. Yeah, they're diving in. I thought they would.
Yeah, you can see the gaps are actually getting closer with those drivers. Is anyone gonna get a 5-second penalty? Everyone needs to be sure that they don't get over the speed limits. There we go.
He's hit the back of Bushy Ants as well, but I think, looking at it, yes, Spies has continued through. Spies takes the lead at the British Grand Prix, and now it even looks like those on the intermediates are struggling through Maggots and Beckett's. This is with FedEx as well, not looking great out there. Everyone changing to intermediate tyres. The entire field is going crazy on the board as Gibson now desperately trying to hold through as well. He has changed over to intermediate tyres. Doesn't look that's the right call. And now the only driver left out there on the DRS now disabled. Yeah, knew that was coming. Yep. Spies out there on the softs. So he's going to be the sinking rat effectively in a second as FedEx looks to the inside and Gibson coming through Abbey. It hasn't worked out. Are they going to jump anyone out of the pit lane? I think they're really going to jump about Raven and Simax. They're the only 2 that are going to jump.
Yeah, how long can Spies keep the P1 though? Can he actually gap the intermediates? There's not much time difference with them. The intermediates are definitely faster though. Ooh, that was a close one.
Santiago's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So he's cut across the track exit more than 3 times. So that's bad news. Simax gets it too. He's down in 20th. So Kunal got a 5-second penalty. Santiago's got a 3. Gibson's got a 3. And Simax has a 3-second penalty. So it's getting disastrous. But can you see raindrops? Yes, there they are. They're just loading in for me now. I was going to say, has it stopped raining? That would have been dramatic.
That would be very dramatic.
Oh, Spies!
Spies, yeah, I think he's pushing
Yeah.
a bit too much. He really wants to gap them, but how far can he stay on that P1 position? Going to the pits, the speed limit is pretty slow. Looks like Peso's going to go for a run against Bondrax. Is he going to have enough speed to go through for that overtake? They are going side by side right now.
Having to use the DRS power, swings it round the outside with a beautiful manoeuvre. Mansell PKS there as well. Peso moves up to P12. Now, Spies in the pit lane. It usually takes around about 25 seconds. And you do cut out the last corner here, so it does get you a few extra seconds, but I don't think it's enough. So Zelenkiewicz takes the lead, as that is Santiago going wide again. Those on the intermediates, I would say, are struggling here, Saika. I don't think intermediates are quite ready yet. The track's not that damp.
Ooh, yeah, you can see, especially with the Ari Santiago, and as well Bondrax missing the apex there. It's definitely not dry conditions, but it's definitely not intermediate conditions. It's in the crossover period right now where everything feels a bit weird and squiggly. So these drivers need to be patient, keep the car in the track, and hopefully don't get penalties like FedEx right there, getting that 3-second penalty. So right now we have 6 drivers with penalties right now.
What we need is what they have in Le Mans, the slick to mediate tyres as well. They only had those for a year because Le Mans was such a big track. They didn't work out that well. Part slick, part intermediate tyre. That's exactly what we need for these conditions as well. But at least they're not on the full wet tyres having to fight these conditions at the moment. The rain is just spitting at the moment. You get more water out of a shower that's coming down than here on the circuit at the moment. As they come through, Kunal has his 5-second penalty for contact in the pit lane. Danny's jumped up to P4, so that early pit stop has helped him regain several positions, but it was a brilliant lap from Zelen, Duzvan and Rhombus to keep 1, 2, 3 out in this field at the moment.
Pezzo's daring to look for some overtakes. He looks for that.
Oh, they're locked up.
Yeah,
They both locked up.
Look like they both
Pezzo
locked
locked
up.
up. Yeah, oh, look at that. So Simas gets another penalty as Bibix just sliding the rear out. This crossover period is taking a lot longer to get used to than we thought as well. Is anyone going to risk diving in for slicks? Oh, I don't think they are at this point. But I said Silverstone's going to turn into an ice rink. It has already. It's Raven now becomes the latest of the penalty games we have here today. As look at this. This is Duzvan getting close behind the Ferrari. Only a tenth between them, and he's going for a land on the inside. That was a bit close. If he tagged the rear wheel, it would have been spun round quicker than Max Verstappen.
There was definitely some contact there. It's quite hard for these drivers to keep on the track, as with the penalties. I can definitely understand that with these tricking decisions. But ERS does regenerate really quick. You don't use a lot of ERS here, as well as fuel, so they can definitely spam a lot for these overtakes. Oh, he is really close. Is he going to go for a move during Maggots and Beckett's? He needs the extra speed right now. He needs to position himself, get the extra speed. Looks like he's doing it very nicely. Will he get that? Zelenkiewicz looks a bit spinny. Going off to the corner. He's in a slipstream right now. He doesn't have enough speed to go for that overtake, but is he gonna go dive in? He does.
Santiago, oh, it looks to the inside. Santiago has had a spin down at Cop's corner. He's dropped to 20th position, so second the championship, getting even worse. Gibson with another 3-second time penalty, but it's fighting at the front, and Santiago's off again as well in down at Maggots and Beckett, sector 2 and 3, as Bibix gets a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, his tires must be pretty hot. Yeah, we're starting to see some action. Oh, there's contact between Will Gibson. He locks up their tires. They're in the gravel trap right now, and is them taking both. Oh, what happened to these two drivers?
Gibson, that move came from a long way back, and it was just going nowhere. Dragged off Raven as well. Santiago's retired from the race inside the pit lane, so that is second place in the championship as well, out of the race. So the AVT Yar Santiago, who was only running 4 points back from Moldovan, has now retired from the British Grand Prix. That is a bitter disappointment, and as he's a reserve driver as well, that could be championship over depending on what happens later on.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate for Yar Santiago. He was looking really good with his pace as well in qualifying. He set a pretty decent time there, but I guess he wasn't ready for these conditions to be given to him. Yeah. The race is still here. Yeah, the rain is still staying consistent. I don't know if we're gonna be. I don't know if there's more rain imminent. But we'll definitely see if there's these intermediates are getting used to the track now.
How long as well would these inters last in these type of conditions? How long would you feel until they start burning up and going off?
To be honest, these tires can definitely last until the end of the race if you wanted to. But you're definitely gonna lose a lot of time. Pitting will be around at least around lap 17. That would be an optimal time to pit. Is he gonna go for a move?
Oh,
diving
very
in the
optimistic
inside.
on the inside. They're gonna hit. Oh,
A bit of
that's
contact
forcing
there.
Zelen off the track. He's given the position back as well. He had to. Gibson gets another penalty as well. And Gibson's out of the race in the pit lane though, so that's not going to bring out a safety car. Down the Wellington straight towards Brooklands. Does Van going to look to the inside again?
Oh, and he does!
He's done speed plunge! Oh, but the Ferrari holds around the outside and it's going to have the inside coming into left field. Now that puts Duzvan on the exit pace as well. It's going to force him towards the gravel. That's going to give the Ferrari more exit speed. They're wheel to wheel through Woodcote now. The Ferrari holds the inside advantage. Duzvan, I thought he was going to look to the inside and do a Hamilton on Verstappen. He doesn't, and Duzvan gets a penalty. He cut the corner on the inside of Cobb's corner. 3 seconds penalties. That's not the end of his race, but it's a hamper he did not need on lap 10 of 26.
That's definitely going to set them back. Both of these drivers are racing hard, but the more they fight, the more of that Aston Martin Days Rumba is going to come back, as well as Danny Cole following along with them. But these drivers are showing good racing right now. They're racing hard, but at least they're not causing each other to spin or going off track. At least at one point they did, but they're showing pretty good action right here for the lead.
And I do enjoy this comment in the chat. Mentron saying this has been manipulated, man. He's put it in the group chat as well. They can see the racing happening in front of us as well. Some agree with it, some don't. The race, though, for the lead is on. Duzvan now going to have another lunge on the inside, coming into Village. Dives through on the inside, breaks late, gets through. The Ferrari trying to hold him around the outside, puts a wheel back up the inside at the loop, getting the car side by side onto Aintree. The Williams edges ahead as they come onto the Wellington straight now. The Williams holds around the outside. Now in the slipstream, pulls to the inside. Kimmich going to have to brake late, but Duzvan brakes later as Revon gets a penalty. Another 5 seconds on the board
as he retires in the pits. But you can see, Days Rumbus has already gained up. He was like 1.3 seconds. Now he's 8 tenths behind these drivers right now. He can come into 7 tenths. So this is working out nicely for P3 as these drivers are fighting hard for the lead. This is some brilliant action. Definitely, they're dancing in the rain right now.
Don't count out Danny either. He's up. He's now within a second of Rhombus as well. So he's joining the fight. That yellow in the first sector as well is coming through. As FaZe gets another penalty, 3 seconds added on. Thank you for the correction here. It doesn't. Is it Dues Van in the chat as well? Thank you for the correction. Getting the driver's names right is absolutely a priority. As Zelenkiewicz now closing in as well to try and get back. 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 8 tenths. One safety car puts us back in the position here as Raven's car now exited the pit lane, stuck down the back half of the track as well.
Looks like Zelenkiewicz lost a lot of time coming off that corner. He's already almost a second off, as well as Days Rumbus is 5 tenths, really close to him. We have Bushy Ants really close to Kevin as well, and these are the closest actions. As well, we have Peso looking behind the point position P10 of Spiz.
Thank you to Cookie Gamer 14, who says it's Doovs Zan. Thank you very much.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't really want to butcher that name. The name is quite hard for me to pronounce. Yeah, thank you so much.
So as they come down, we're still seeing Duzvan has actually extended that lead to 1.3 seconds now. Oh, and Danny's up to third. Danny's past Rhombus. He did so on the inside
of
Woodcote. And Rhombus is disconnected. Rhombus is disconnected.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, we hope to get him back quick as possible. He's going to lose a lot of time. That's so unfortunate for him, though. So he doesn't have time to come back to overtake him, though.
Okay.
Hope they can come back and make a quick recovery. We'll be sending out invites to him.
So Duzan is now getting a 1.3 second advantage. Zelenkiewicz now P2, Danny P3. That's extending the gap as Spies closing in on Bushians as well. Trying to go around the outside, coming into Stowe corner. That's been forced off so much. Can he hook the inside line up at the exit? He can, but Bushians' Aston Martin's too much there. And it's too much in the middle of the track as well. Can't find a way through. Nice chicane through Vale.
There's a bit of contact there. It looks like Bushians were going slow through that corner. Oh, he hit that curve and saved himself. A nice save by Spiz. But is he going to go down there for the insides? Doesn't. Oh, he's hitting the grass.
Oh, he's really spun it.
Yeah.
My goodness me. He was drifting round Village. Absolutely. Didn't he just saved that as well? He saved it on power. I think I saw a blip in the acceleration. Oh, and Bushians goes way off. Here comes Spies then with the advantage down the Wellington Straight, moves to the inside line and gets the job done into Brooklands. Lick the stamp and send it. Not yet. Bushians holding around the outside. Spies gonna have to get on the power. Push now. Power, power, power. Try and have the accelerator out, the first out of it. Oh, it didn't work. If he held it on the outside, it would have. But Bushians was just forcing him wide. He's got the cutback though. Oh my word, close your eyes. Oh, he backed out of it. I thought he was going to go for it. Side by side at Cops. He's about, what, 50-50 if you actually make it out of that corner without a massive accident. That's what I've seen. And here comes Peso into this battle. And as well, Bondrax. This is getting close.
And
Gibson
Peso
is out of the race,
enjoying this. Yeah, we can see that. Yeah, as we can see, Peso is definitely enjoying this right now. You can see he's right behind these two drivers, and he's just getting closer and closer. You see the intervals times between P8 and P1 is a bit messed up. I do apologize for that. I don't know what's going on. But
no worries.
there's still a lot of action going on here. Oh, we can see them coming back now. But look like Spies are going side by side right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a penalty. He's got 3 seconds. He cut the corner. So that's Bushians done as Spies makes a brilliant move around the outside. So Bushians cutting the corner on the inside at Club. And that's 3 seconds added onto your time, sir. Would you like it served now?
Oh, and he goes for the dive. He almost went for the dive there. I saw he was eyeing up that move there. But will he have enough exit speed to overtake Bushians? Bushians is slowly going backwards. He needs to get that exit speed. Will he find it going throughout this corner? And he does. Looks like he's going a bit faster than him. Yeah. But he does have the slipstream Peso in that tow run. Now, will he make that move? Is he going to go for it? No, he does not. Almost. They were pretty close out there.
That's disappointing. I was expecting a dive bomb. Maybe this will do it. Look at this superior speed coming through. You saw as soon as Ants moved out of the way, Peso's speed increased dramatically on the apex through Luffield. But that was just, I think, a flex of the muscles there for Bushy through that part of the circuit. As Bondrax now just sitting back as FedEx gets another 3-second time penalty. Add that to the list as well. They're losing quite a lot over this part of the race. There you go, look, full read of the penalties with Duzan with 3 seconds worth of penalties. I'll tell you what, Cookie Gamer 14, message me post-race and you can teach me exactly how to say it. As Bushians now having hold off from Peso again, whipping wheels, my goodness.
Oh, he's going to the pits.
That's because Bushy did pits. Interesting.
That's very interesting. Is he going to pit for the new tires? Yeah, that might be for another set of tires. Or he's going to retire. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Bushians. What would be the reason for that, though?
A lot of the drivers are complaining about the conditions out there on the track at the moment in the Discord as well. So I can only think it's to do with they're not happy with the race conditions as well. But that's an unusual reason for him to retire as well. So if that is the reason, I think the stewards might have a bit of a word as well. Peso says you have a red X on my screen. So I don't think Peso might not even be in full control of his car. KOTF Kevin has reds on his screen as well for low internet connection, so people are struggling. Yellow sector 1, that will be for Bushy Ants, they're getting out of the way. There is another car in the pit lane, or at least going very slowly. I can't see who it is right now. It's got a red dot, so it could be a Ferrari, but it's Simax out of the race.
I believe that's Simax, I believe. But then he retired like laps ago. I don't know why he's out there. Huh.
So Simax is, Simax's car's just returned. Now has stopped at the same part of the track. So Simax is out, Bushy Ant is out, so that's 2 of the reserve drivers who have left. That's Simax and Yar Santiago, who's the first to retire. Dusan is leading this race now by 3.4 seconds, which means he leads this race overall as well. He had a 3-second time penalty, unless that's extended to 5. I don't think so. But either way, he's going quicker than ET8 Zelen, which means he should be able to control that in the remaining 11 laps we have left of the British Grand Prix here. Late safety cars, though, could still happen, but the field is pretty much running together, which is very rare then for a safety car to happen. That's what I've found, at least on the F1 games by Codemasters. Field close together, very rare for safety cars.
It is pretty close, yeah, but the safety car here, the chance of it coming out is pretty high, as the birds are so far away to DNF from. But you never know. We haven't seen a DNF caused by a car accident. We've only seen DNFs from the pit lane. But these drivers are keeping it nice and clean. We do have a lot of penalties with these drivers here. The closest battle we have right now is for Spiz with Bugger Off. They're getting pretty close and almost hitting each other off. We have Yunovs, that's very clear, from P2, as well as Zelenkovic. He's 1.6 seconds ahead of Danny Coe. Danny Coe keeping it well, avenging his teammate Will Gibson in the Alpine driving. If he can be in P3, that's good points for the Alpine constructors, as well as Bondrax. He's in P11. Oh, we have the AM getting 3-second penalty. That's so unfortunate.
So I think it's pronunciation by Cookie Gamer as well, who's been very helpful, I must say. Thank you very much. So if I'm pronouncing this one right, it will be Duvzan, who is on top, and he's got 3.6 seconds ahead of Zelenovic as well at the moment. But 4 tenths as well. The battle very much is over at the back. Oh, as B-Bix gets another penalty. Oh, and he's out of the race.
And it's from the pits again.
So this is everybody pulling out. So this is everybody pulling out of the race. This is quite surprising. There's no indication of damage. They're all just retiring from the race, as FedEx gets a penalty as well out there as well. Yeah, there's no
14 drivers left. Yeah, there's 14 drivers left. 6 drivers retired, all from the pits. We still have about 9 laps left. We have the yellow sector flag of Bivic's car AI retiring on the track. These 3 drivers right here, Kevin, Bugoff, and Spiz, they're keeping very close to each other. These they're not finding the right time just to overtake each other, as it's tricky here to get that extra speed. So they're just sticking together like 3 best friends right now.
So yeah, 3 best friends running together at the moment. This is getting to feel like what happened back in Portugal as well. We're into that middle bit of the race lull where not much is happening in the front of the field, but everything's happening in the midfield. Over the last points paying positions, of course, 16, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the points from 1st to 10th in the PSGL. So they're really out running together. Bugger Off running in P8 as well, after starting back in the, 18th in the grid. This is even better at the moment, as people are cheering on Bondrax as well. So is it, I'm presuming it's Dovzan, maybe. Well, we're going to have to work on that post-race. As a big slide for Spies, that kicks him off. Oh, and he gets a penalty for it. I knew he would.
Yeah, that was definitely off track. And Pezzo as well gets another 3-second penalty. They're just following each other's footstep right here. But we can see, look at Kevin right there. It's 8 position gain. As well as, look at Yarnov, he gets a 10 position gain. But he does have that penalty. Let's see quickly what kind of penalty. I believe it's a 3-second penalty for him. Yeah, 3-second penalty, but he is 3.7. So he is clearing P2 right now.
Dovzan, there we go. There we go. Thank you, everybody. So Dovzan then at the moment on top with that 3-second penalty. He's got 7 tenths or 8 tenths advantage over Zelen. That's going to give Zelen a little bit of anticipation to try and close up. As we see, Spies is so slow. Peso sent it round the outside. That was fantastic. Opportunistic manoeuvres as well. Peso now trying to break the toe from Spies as they come through Maggot and Beckett. It actually also looks like they're trying to warm their tyres up a bit. That's surprising as well.
Maybe, I believe the rain is coming on a lot more heavy. You can see the rain. It's just pouring right now. you never know. It might be full wet conditions very soon if these drivers. It looks like they don't have that much grip yet, but Pezzo and Spiz, the Red Bull and the Mercedes, kind of reminiscing of a real life action right now. They're both fighting pretty hard, and as well as going through the Copse corner, it was I was having flashbacks a little bit.
I was going to say it, but a Mercedes on the inside of a Red Bull. Last time we tried that, didn't end very well. As well as they come through. But this is getting fantastic as well. What another race as well. He's looking at 4.3 seconds now. So he's got a 1.4 advantage. That's getting faster and faster. I presume as well that Dovzan is going to push it to at least 6 seconds in case he gets another penalty. If it feels like he's around that zone, he might need another one. I would, wouldn't you, if you were leading the race?
I definitely would, but there is still 7 laps left, and the tires, you never know with these tires. Ooh, Pezzo looking a bit squirmy coming out the corner, but the tires can definitely last until the end of the race. I would definitely push for another 6-second gap, just in case, just if you're pushing a little bit. But of course, be careful as the conditions are still a bit tricky here. You don't want to spin off or get another penalty.
So it's lap 19 of 26 as well. Quite a lot of the field, as you can see, has the black and white flag indicating they have a penalty. But the race leader has only got a 3-second one, and he's got a 1.5-second advantage. Mathematically, the net lead of the race as well. We're watching the battle for 7th. Buggeroff we're on board with. He's P8. KTF Kevin in the McLaren runs P7. There's 3 tenths between them. Pesso is just behind as well, as they've left XRT Spies very much for dust at the moment, which is great to see. Because this is closing up on some nice fights for the higher points paying.
Oh, and Zelekovic got another 3-second penalty.
That's game over then. And also, it means it's race on between them if there's a late safety car. Danny could still get this race win if that safety car comes out at any point. But Zelen gets a penalty, which is what we were all waiting for. Now, watch Pesso using his ERS power as well to try and close in the Williams in front as well. And the McLaren as they hurtle down towards Brooklands. A little bit of a tight inside line. I thought there would be an accelerator there. It didn't work out. That's disappointing. Come on, guys. Try and have the power. Push, push, push. Oh, the Red Bull getting so sideways there as well as they head toward Copse Corner. 7th here, 300 kilometers an hour. The car set up that way. Looks to the inside. Not paying off this time. It's getting tense, though. I'm very much enjoying this race.
Yeah, my problems are sweating a little bit, to be honest. Danny Coe is probably very happy right now as he is in the P2 position. If Danny Coe can keep inside that 3-second range, so if Zelekovic is gonna probably drop down to P3 if he can gap these drivers, but Danny Coe is keeping it nice within that range. These drivers are still fighting pretty hard right now. Is anybody gonna go for the move? And he does. Look at this. Pesso going for that move. There was a little bit of contact there, but looks like everything seems fine. But this is good for Spitz. He's literally right behind them. Is it going to be move for turn 1? The drivers are getting a little bit impatient here. They want an overtake soon enough. There's only 5 laps left. Or 6 laps left, technically. Is Pezzo going to go for the move? No, he doesn't. He looked for the inside, but there was no space left there. He didn't think it was worth it. Look at Spitz looking for the inside as well. They are getting very impatient right now.
Fantastic racing as they head down the Wellington Straight once again. Pesso goes wide, but he's got the run now. Down towards Brooklands, looks to the outside. Buggeroff defends that line, but Pesso says, I can go through and jump as well as anybody else. Keeps the inside line through Luffield as well. Gets on the power early as well. The Williams is left high and dry. And through goes Pesso into P8. Is that going to give the advantage back to Spies though? Don't think it has, as it's pretty much just relaxed a little bit now as we hit Copse Corner.
There you go. There we have an overtake. Pesso, Buggeroff. They were going side by side. That's some brilliant racing right there. Pesso with the nice moves. He was. Oh, look at that. Spitz gets another 3-second penalty. He got a bit too impatient there. Kind of overextended the track a little bit. But that doesn't mean the race is over yet. I don't believe a safety car will come out this lap or next one. But you never know. You can't predict the future. Safety car might happen like in 20 seconds. Bugger gets a 3-second penalty.
But I think so did Peso look. So it's Spies who's worse off. If anything, this just makes Kevin relax a bit more because Peso's right on the back of him. You can see 2 cars ahead. Well, this is interesting. I don't know if we're going to get this late of a safety car. Don't worry, folks. I've locked Michael Massey out of the commentary box. He can't do anything. But this is getting interesting as the rain looks getting a bit heavier out there, and everyone's out there on worn intermediate. As Peso trying to loop the McLaren at the loop as well, coming into Aintree. It's not going to pay off there. It's going to have to be done on the ERS power, but Kevin will still keep the position overall. It's not a home alone moment yet to go, Kevin. Oh dear, Psycho.
You're exactly right. Look at that. The AM, he went to the full wet tires. I don't know.
Oh, that's a brave call.
That is a very brave call. As I said, the rain is getting on pretty heavy, and you can see the tires are starting to lose grip. Oh, Berghoff! He's gone to the wall. Is that going to be a safety car? He has retired the car. Is that going to be a safety car for this race? And it is a safety car! A safety car is coming to the last race. I knew it. I predicted it, sort of. What an action! What have you done?
Who gave Michael Massey these? My goodness me, the safety car comes out on lap 22-26. Who's going to risk to come in, put on fresh intermediates or even full wet tyres? What's the procedure? And the chat is going live with no Mikey, no jokes as well. I think we're all joining there. A late safety car, just like yesterday in the PSGL Formula 1. It's going to deliver more drama. And this is great news for ETA Danny, who's going to surely be promoted to the race winner. He started on pole, dropped back with an early pit stop. The 2 in front of him have penalties of 3 seconds each. This is advantage Danny, so late in the race. And I can just hear now as well, this race has been manipulated. My goodness, we've got drama. And it's going to take time for the field because the AM is 50 seconds back. As into the pit lane comes FaZe and FedEx. Are we going to get this race restarted? If so, I don't think it's going to be with the entire field backed up. I think we're going to have a 1-lap dash with the field separated massively.
It's going to be a 1-lap race. Those drivers with the penalties are shaking their head right now. Danny Coe is probably jumping with excitement right now. But the drivers, to be honest, they're on intermediate tires. And I honestly believe that it's a full wet condition right now. We were looking before as well as Bugger Off. He was like a slidey there. It's honestly a bit too shaky for these drivers. And now it's a 1-lap race, so they're going to go full out. Some of these drivers are old. They're really old, 17 laps old, 16 lap old. FedEx and AM, they're on the wet tires. We're going to see if the full wets will work in this conditions. But this is definitely some action going on to the end of the race. We always see this. Now with the crash in Portugal, and now with the safety car coming out so late.
This is, but look at this now. The safety car's going so slow to back the pack up as well. I have just replied, but Slap said, how is our voices still working as well? I've put a lot of water in the box. I don't know about your side there, Psycho, how your voice is still working, but I suppose at this point, you're running on adrenaline.
Yeah, my voice is not working actually, because it's honestly running just off fumes right now. I need to, after this race, I need to take a long break. But this is definitely some excitement I love to see. I love to see this kind of racing in this league. And you always find that nice action in PSGL, of course.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe as well, and turn on the notification bell for every league series we've got coming up as well. The Formula 2s and Formula 3s racing alongside us here tonight as well. But next week on Monday, we start with the PlayStations as FedEx gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So he's coming to put on the wet tyres. He's going to call it late. It's lap 24 of 26. The field might be bunched up at the end of lap 25. It's going to be a 1-lap shootout. Who let Michael Massey into the commentary box as well? I would like to know, because whoever it was, I'm taking your key off you.
Michael, what is this? This is, well, we do love to see the action, but this is, Jarnovic and Zelenkovic are not happy. But Daniko and Topkov are definitely jumping with excitement right now as they're put in the provisional leads. They just need to bring the car home just for 1 lap. they've done it all for the 24 laps or the 23 laps of racing. I think you just stick for one more and that's it.
I think we'll stick to the front cameras, won't we, when we get to when the safety car comes in, because I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic to watch this battle coming through. But seriously, I hope this proves that it does happen in all forms of racing. A late safety car to be called, and this drama to happen. It's even the Aston Martin safety car. I mean, how much more coincidental can you get? I suppose if you're running in Abu Dhabi, we might have raised a few eyebrows. But this race is going to go down as well, because we've got Dozan, a safety car in this lap.
Safety cars coming into this lap? Oh wow,
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. It's there's some drivers missing in the back. They probably can catch up as everyone's going very slow right now. So let's set the pace. But Yanov setting the pace for these other cars. Is he gonna slow down or is he gonna come quickly? We'll see. Where is he gonna accelerate off? You can accelerate off coming off from the chicane, or if you're a bit cheeky.
It's a two-lap showdown. I think is he going to wait for the line? Looks like he's accelerating hard now, though. The race is going to get going once again. Two-lap showdown here at Silverstone. Green flags are up, but Dozan Salin getting wide. Wow, I thought he was wide there. As the race restarts, the field is very, very nicely spread out, however, so I did think would it be more drama than paid off, but so far it's going okay as we get through. 1.2 seconds. Dozan has got up the order. It's not going to be enough just yet. We need to see it across the line. This is tense stuff as Peso closing in the back now to Kevin.
Yeah, it looks like these drivers are getting really close right now. But Zelenkovic went a bit wide. I saw he when he was going through the last turn, he kind of made the car go sideways a bit and lost so much time in saying the driver's a bit backwards. I don't know if Dovzan can put his car out of that penalty range. It's definitely a stretch. There's 2 laps left. But these drivers are definitely eager to do some overtakes. We can see the gaps. Peso as well. He's really close to Kevin.
FedEx has changed back to the intermediate tyres, and he is now, I think, past the AM. Coming through Maggots and Beckett he has. So the AM's decision to switch to the wet tyres was not without consequence. He's dropped down to last place as well. And 1.3 seconds, but with the overall net lead at the moment, Danny's got the lead. At the moment, Danny's got the lead on countback. 2.2 seconds. He's within inside the 3 seconds of Dozan. This is it. Coming up for the last lap here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix of season 30 for PSGL. And a late safety car once again plays a blinder as Bondrak securing that last 10th place. He's going to jump up the order. Expect to see a lot of difference. Let's switch over to the leader instead of the interval. In order as well to see 2.5 seconds. As it stands, Danny's going to win, but Dozan is on the accelerator as they head down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands.
Danny Coe needs to keep us in the 3 second range if he wants to take the win. But it looks like he's slowly creeping out of that range, but he's still in it. There's only there's only 2 sectors left from these drivers right now. And the gaps I don't believe there will be no overtakes yet. The gaps are so close, but it doesn't look like anyone's going for that overtake yet.
Let's stick then with the top 3 as we ride on board with Danny. By our calculations, he's going to win this Grand Prix. Started on pole, pitted early, dropped to 4th when the rain came, put on the inters, and he's carried those for 20 laps. The rest of the field in front have carried them for 19 laps. Dozan has led most of the race. A penalty has put him down. FedEx, well, he's got another one. But by our calculations, 2.9. Right, let's go to Dozan. He's going to cross the line first. Is he going to be the winner of the British Grand Prix? 3.04 seconds as it stands. It's going to be very, very close. Who's going to win the British Grand Prix? Out of the last corner, Dozan crosses the line. He wins the Grand Prix at the line. Where is Danny across it?
And he's P2! He's 1/10 off! Oh no, unfortunate for Danny Coe. But Dovzan wins the British Grand Prix, even with the setbacks, even with the penalties. He had the pace for 2 laps. All he needed was 2 laps for that to outpace his penalty, and he takes the win. What a race from the driver. I am very impressed from P1.
gets the driver of the day. Dozvan wins the British Grand Prix by 0.143. A dominant drive with a safety car came in with 2 laps to go. He pulled out that 3-second advantage. It's champagne time at Silverstone for a very, very well-deserved win. That is epic. Trust the PSGL to bring you the closest action in Grand Prix esports. Brilliant racing.
What a race. He did definitely show his pace there. He had the setup right. He had the corners right. He definitely kept him focused. Even with the 3-second penalty, he kept it in pace. What a race. So we have Yanov Dovzan in P1. Danny Coe, the British driver, starting from P1 down to P2. Unfortunate for him. But we have P3 for Jan Topkov, Zelenkovic, P4 for Ferrari, and Kevin for McLaren, P5. Those are your top 5 drivers. You have Bondrex for the Alfa Romeo, Matthias Konal, Mercedes AMG, P8 for Days Rumbus, P9 Peso, and P10 Pass. The Brazilian driver getting those points. Congratulations, those point scoring drivers. If we're in the back of the field, we have a Spiz for the Mercedes driving team in P11, the AM, FedEx in P13, P14 Bugger Off, and the last 6 drivers there, they're all DNFs. Unfortunate for Bugger Off, saying that's late safety car. He definitely did bring us a lot of action. And if we switch over to the com box right now, oh, and my camera is not here.
Your camera's off ever so slightly. I'm sort of jumped to the side. I'm taking the headset off. What a race. It's okay, no worries. Hello.
Hello.
Silverstone always provides interesting tech failures. You see the cheers at the side of the box. What a fantastic race as well. Oh, there we go. What a fantastic race. I have never seen a race in any esport with a safety car out with only a couple of laps to go. That was absolutely epic. Title ramifications throughout as well, with Yar Santiago not finishing as well. He was second in the title. Bogdan Modlan not getting as many points. And now as well with Duzan as well, closing right up there to the top of the title. 2 races in, and we've yet to see a clear runner at the front. This is fantastic.
What a race we have. The conditions, it honestly felt like it was going to be full wet. And we saw the AM as well as FedEx, they were going to the pits for the full wets, but it looked like it didn't quite work out. The conditions weren't just there yet. And of course, the P1, what a pace. You just need those 2 laps. Unfortunate for P2. Still good points bringing in for Alpine. Unfortunate for Will Gibson, the retirement couldn't bring any more points for the Constructors' Championship. But that's still a lot of good points compared to their last race. As well as P3. Could do much there. He did what he could and he sets it in.
If I have to push you, who's your driver of the day? There was a lot of good ones out there.
There was a lot of good ones. I will have to say, of course, P1. He was he set the pace. He started from P11 and got to P1. That's an amazing feat to do, especially in these tricky conditions. So that goes to him.
Medium tyres at the start we saw for only 1 driver. That didn't work out well as well. Do you think he's learned his lesson now going forward? And when the rain says it's coming, soft tyres the way to go? Well,
the gambles is you have to sort of assess your risk, to be honest. If you see the rain is going to come soon, you need to see if you really want to gamble, what will be the risk if it fails. So he most likely will learn his lesson and come back, hopefully come back stronger next time.
Absolutely. Right, let's take a quick look then at the calendar and how things stand as well, the calendar going forward. We've done 2 races. We've done Portugal. We've done Silverstone. Next up, we go to Monaco. That's in 7 days' time as well. It's going to be another great one. And that as well on a street circuit. It's just going to test these guys as well to the absolute limit. The French Grand Prix then the following week in February as well. We run over to the Hungaroring and Austria in the first weekend of March, followed then by Saudi Arabia on the weekend of testing as well for Formula One at Bahrain. The week Bahrain gets underway in Formula One, we race at Belgium, then the Netherlands as well, followed by Brazil, Mexico, Singapore, the United States in Austin, Texas, Italy at Imola, and Bahrain rounds out the season in mid to late May. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, as well as we'll come back up to say goodbye. One final word then from you, Psycho. What have you made then of today's race? Is Formula 4 living up to the hype we had pre-season for the PSGL League as well?
Well, you can see from this race, we can definitely see these drivers are definitely fast, and as well as the pace, the action we get is just enjoyable to watch. Thank you for everyone for sticking around. It was nice to see people in the chat cheering everyone on. That's always a great sight to see, as well as all the action there. Even in these tricky conditions, we had a lot of overtakes, we had a lot of actions, a lot of pushing, with 6 DNFs and 1 late safety car, and I expect to see that more going on these next races.
Absolutely. Thanks for your company as ever, Psycho. And thanks to everybody for tuning in today. I echo the words of Psycho as well. We'll be back 7 days' time. We'll be underway for the Monaco Grand Prix as well. Don't forget to tune in on Monday for the Grand Prix here from Silverstone for the PlayStation Leagues. Jess will take you through quite a lot of them as well. We've got Monaco underway as well for the Formula 1 PSGL with Jarno Otmir as well, Brendan Lee and Barrow Borman as well, all going through. That'll be Wednesday, and we'll be back on Thursday. Set your alarm clocks for another great race from the PSGL PCF4 League. From us all here, thanks for your company. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.